We are back in the studio again. Not that we haven't really left the studio, sorry, but we're back again with all of you. And today we are going to take your questions and and let you know what some of our learnings have been as we've been building out this space. And you'll notice, and maybe Jill can help us demonstrate a little bit here, but we've painted our wall. It's literally still wet, so you'll forgive us if we're not able to touch it or put things up against it yet. And we are on our way with our wood wall. Our wood wall is coming.
I call it wood stripe right now.
It's a wood stripe.
Just deal with it. Wood stripe, hooray for being. Yeah, that's red
But
stripe.
we do have our light set up after our lighting fun discussion yesterday, and we learned that we do not have the correct spigot.
Spigot. There we go. Yes. Katie's learning words, you guys.
I'm learning words. English major, so I know a lot of words, but I'm learning some more words. Spigots to connect our light to a light stand. So we need either a proper light stand and some spigots, probably both. Which is a good thing to start talking about because I feel like
I feel like a lot of people understand. So one of my favorite parts of all of this stuff is rigging, and rigging ends up kind of sort of being last on purpose because you got to kind of figure out where you want everything, and then after you know where you want it, you start figuring out how to batten down the hatches, if you will. So for instance, in light stands, you'll see a couple stuff. If you bought a Savage kit or a Neewer kit or whatever, you got the really basic $20 flimsy light stands. They're fine until they're not. So what you kind of want to do, once you know that your studio is either A, semi-permanent, or you are going to strike and move a lot, if you're going to strike and move a lot, go straight to Impact or Avenger style C-stands. You can always tell the difference because they're like a 1-inch pipe. They're kind of normally chrome. They're much better. The little thin aluminum stuffs, they're wobbly and shaky, and actually, they always fall apart at an inopportune time. Now, if you need something that's mad portable and you don't really want the weight of a C-stand, look at like Flashpoint air cushioned, kind of like what you're probably used to from high school or theater production if you did that. Alzo Digital, a couple other guys, they sell them similar to that. So we'll be getting like more of the Avenger style because I think the dope part about this space is there's a lovely wooden floor, right? So if you get Impact style with wheels, when you're done with it, I call it a parabola, which drives Diana crazy.
We're sorry, Diana.
It's a parabolic dome. I call it parabola dome.
A parabola dome.
You can just wheel it in the corner and it would just look cute in the corner, minding its own business. Yeah. And it can provide nice lighting if you're working late at night and you want to like glow the joint up, right? But when you're ready to shoot, you'll just wheelie it into place. And we can do something like pay attention to the knots that come in wood floors and be like, I know wheel one goes here and line the other two up in the right angle, and my distance is gangster, right? If you have a patterned carpet, you find the part of the pattern that matches where you got to put back if you are a striker.
Yeah, make little X's with some tape on the floor.
And tape on the carpet will get most people hurt by their spouse.
Not tape on the carpet.
But in the temporary moment, use a light painter's tape or something on the carpet so you know. Yeah. But if you have an even Steven carpet, you got to kind of use wall references. So over here, we have wood beams from this building was built when Jesus walked to Nazareth. Like this building been here. When the
New England vibes, everyone.
When the Pilgrims got off the boat, they built this first, and then they had a party with smallpox. So you can use those as references as to how to line things up. So that's another thing that you can do. For all of us who have offices with drop ceilings, we're lucky. We get a grid right in the ceiling. So you look at your ceiling grid and you got reference points for dates because it's like a perfect 2x4 grid all the way across your spot.
Yeah. And I'll say, so for everyone that's out there who is newer to this or is trying to figure out what to buy and how to make a list, how we approach this initially is that, we were taking inspiration from all of you amazing people out there. So looking at, Marshall Fawkes, Pastor Felicia's set, a bunch of different vibes and aesthetics that we're like, okay, we really want a lot of that, cool character, like fun, bookcases and things behind us. We're thinking about a lot of set design and, where exactly we wanted the space to be. So I had the vibe and the feeling and kind of the intention there, and then went to all of my friends and experts to ask what gear to get. And so I ordered everything. It's been the last 2 weeks of just boxes upon boxes upon boxes showing
my God.
up.
If you guys
so
can see the
many
box
boxes.
pile,
We needed to take you on tour of our
box
box
pile is insane. Look, if I was practicing motocross, I could literally do backflips and land in the boxes and then get up and be like, all right, I'm good,
Jill will show you our box pile. But
There's the box pile from all heck.
yeah, so I mean, we ordered everything, but and so I thought I'm very probably OCD on making sure everything arrived, but it's all the things that you don't think of. So it's going to be a process just because you've got just because you've got
to start singing Offspring when you say it, all the small things. Small things. Sorry.
No, that's Blink. That's Blink. Yeah.
Oh wait, that was Blink 82. Sorry.
That was Blink. But yeah, no, thinking through all of those little things. So you got your cameras, you have your microphones, you've got your lighting, you've got your furniture and everything else. But do you have, which we do not, the right cables, spigots? Do you have enough tripods? Do you have gaffer's tape?
Yes.
Have you thought where, how things are going to attach, all of the cable management, everything in between?
So I think one of the things about cable management though is save it for the very end. Because once you know how you're going to do your stuff, and this is for the people that are going to set. So the terminology, when I use set, I mean you're going to build it, it's where it stays. When I say set and strike, you're going to set it up, and when you're done, you're going to strike it down, which means put everything away, because you have children or a spouse or somebody that would kill you if you left everything up in the living room. So if you're a set and strike person, even more so, you might want to have some decent cable management, because in that odd moment, Stephanie, that Emma comes in and runs across in the middle of a live and goes, "Mom, I want a snack." You do not want her to go dunk, 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 trip, boom, camera, lights to the ground.
Hospital trip, lights broken. It's not good for anyone.
Next thing you know, you're trying to defend the Child Protective Services.
Oh, no, don't do that.
I was doing a live stream and then my kid needed a snack and then, So think about that sort of stuff, but also realize that I don't care how you do this, you're going to miss something. Even when I'm doing TV show and movie sets, we're forever running to the hardware store. That's what PAs do. PAs run and get coffee, and they run and get more screws and more tape and PVC pipe, which is our secret sauce to everything. I also didn't realize, okay, I'm from a small island, right? And I'm thinking, they got to at least have, the Home Depot and the Lowe's and all of that stuff like we do, which they do. Where I live, Home Depot is 1.5 miles away. Lowe's is literally 75 feet to the left of Home Depot. I mean, they're on the back side of each fence with not much room because of thieves. What's funny to me is here, they're 18, 20 miles away.
Everything is at least a 15-minute drive short of our amazing local hardware
store. Hold on, this is even more funny. It's in a different state.
It's in a different state, because our the end of my street is New Hampshire. So
it's really crazy, right? So you have to have that in mind. How close is your access to things? So we're like, no problem. We'll just hit up B&H and we'll be able to get everything overnighted. Not a big deal. So normally, September doing Rosh Hashanah. No, Shalom Aloha. Pastor David, you didn't warn me, Rabbi David, you didn't warn me about that because I should know. I'm from New York. Completely forgot. So B&H is like, nope, we open back on Friday. And like, no, you don't, because you guys close on Friday nights actually, so we won't be able to see them until next week. So you got to keep that stuff in mind as well.
Yeah, really thinking through like what your timing is and giving yourself a much larger buffer than you even think. So, if you have a really important live stream coming up and you're doing a studio build, either you're going to be okay with it not being totally perfect and finished in time for your stream, or you're not going to be able to pull it off because there absolutely is going to be something you're going to miss.
I think that's a good lesson because Alec Johnson from my crew, we joke about being recovering perfectionists.
We're right there with
And
you.
Alec, I'm sorry, brother. I had a setback. Hi, my name is Doc. I've been a recovering perfectionist for 12 years,
Yep.
and I had a major setback this go around. So yeah, you just got to be ready to dust it off. I'm over here having OCD moments with the Wonderwall. Sorry, Oasis is slipping in the wood wall, because they ship all the parts in exactly even increments, and we need odd increments. So that little cavity right there is odd increments. Lucky Jill's here to help me cut small pieces to fill in the pukas. Sorry, holes. I use Hawaiian words. And it's kind of interesting. It's differently interesting than I expected. I thought it would be a lot simpler. So again, not having like a miter box. Like if I'm at home, I got a chop saw, the wood shop's right down the thing. I would like draw lines and then just take all the pieces to the shop and sit on a $20,000 table saw and just and put the puzzle back together.
Yeah.
In Hamlet, you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
I'll swear to you, dude, at any moment you're gonna hear, and there'll be a buggy, and I'm not joking, the buggy historian just came to visit. So I'm not even clowning.
Excuse me, the carriage
Oh,
historian
carriage,
just
my
came
bad.
to visit.
Like-
The carriage historian just came
So
to visit.
this town was literally building carriage, and they had Cartwrights and all of that stuff. And if you guys are around yesterday, you heard the whistle from the old.
We'll probably hear it again today because we,
the old carriage factory town. Like it's legit. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. But you have to remember this stuff when you're building something like this.
Yeah, actually, it's a really good point. So, here in Amesbury, we know that every day, every work day, at noon, there is a whistle. At 12:30, you're done lunch, there's a whistle.
I would make that part of the show some kind of a way.
Yeah,
I'd have
right?
all
So
of
like,
my
you have
lives,
to accept that, or
Yeah.
you have to just not live
No,
stream
I'd
at
have
that
all
time.
of my lives at 11:45, and then I'd launch a segment when the horn goes
You're
off.
like, and we're on.
And then have another segment when the horn goes back off. Like I'd find a way to work it because it is super charming and dope around here. Like I can't even tell you from a photographer's standpoint yesterday when it was raining and it's wet and everything is bricks from like when everybody ran away from England. Those bricks been here. They just have a certain glow and dopeness to them. And I was like, yo, I really want to run around here and just take lots of pictures, but then also wanted to go hit the bed.
Tomorrow will be a good picture taking day. We'll update on photos.
I'll be the guy running around Amesbury with a bucket. Why is he wetting the bricks? I just need to get this picture. Relax.
Just to glisten on the bricks. Oh, awesome. Jill, do we have any questions coming in?
We have, let me just hop on here. So we have a bunch of comments. We've got a lot of people joining us. Thank you so much. Let us know what you want us to talk about or feature.
Yeah.
One little hack that you did today was that you knew we would be building, so you were like, I need to set a phone alarm to make sure that we give ourselves enough time.
Yes.
Simple little things like that are going to make a big difference.
Yeah, because we were definitely going to be distracted. We were cranking the music.
In the zone.
We were in the zone. So
I was trying to get him like one more piece of wall before it was time to stream.
we're like, we're done. We gotta
Yeah,
stop.
so
But
I like that idea because I never set that little go before the stream alarm.
Yeah.
And you probably should.
Yeah.
Everybody should because it gives you more of a time. And then so I have definitely, run into the studio and like the person sitting in the waiting room just like waiting. So I think it's a good idea to, set an alarm like an hour or half an hour before the stream for your own self.
And if you got that Apple Watch, then no matter where you're at, if your phone's over there, you're going to get that buzz. All right, let me jump into some questions. Jared says, studio build is looking good.
Thanks, Jared.
Thanks,
Mahalo.
Jared.
I went to Jared.
Jared Spink?
You went to
No,
You went to Jared?
Yeah.
Did he go to Jared?
Yeah, I went to Jared.
Jared.
Yo, Spinky is my boy. I love that kid.
Jared, thanks. And like we said earlier, we're a team of recovering perfectionists here, so we are not going to be done in
Other
time.
than the fact
we are
that
not
he's a
going to be done in
hardcore-
time for Sleep Into Live. So.
Jill, he's with you. Other than being a hardcore Canaanite, like he'd probably be my best friend, but he's a Canaanite, so.
Listen, are we going there?
We're not judging.
No,
We're not judging.
I'm just kidding.
Joking.
Simply Ob says, hashtag recovering perfectionists
Oh,
unite.
Oh,
Yep.
it's my girl.
Anna Gill is saying those wooden panels look so cool.
Yeah, right? And they so here, learning lesson again, right? I'm like, okay, we're going to save time. We found this site. Shout out to Ken's wife, Rachel, who's incredible. She was like, you need this. And here I measured it. She measured everything for me and sent me everything I needed. And I figured because I'm like a get stuff done person. I'm like, oh, it'll show up. It'll be all the right pieces. We're just going to stick it to the wall. And then we looked and I was like, oh, we need tools and
We need a
knowledge. We need a strategy. We have to cut stuff.
Yeah, so
We're
a pro
like-
tip, if you get a wood wall, yesterday Katie and I sorted all the planks into the exact same size piles. Today, Jill, the teacher, Miss Jill, sorry Miss Jill, can I do my homework? She goes, hey, ding dong, why don't you put a post-it note with the size of each one? And I was like,
We're not worthy, Jill.
and then she goes, that way, when you know the measurement, you can just do quick math and add our stuff up. And then Katie said, math, cool, I'm painting.
Yeah, math. Bye.
I was like, dang it, Jill, that's brilliant. I thought it was cool that we had the stacks, but actually measuring them, marking the numbers, and then you know what your gaps are going to be.
Yeah.
It is much easier. I think had time, what I would do is build it on the floor. Like,
that's a good
so
thought.
I would tape out the dimensions of the floor with blue tape, and I just build it on the floor so we actually know what our cuts are. And then we're using a miter saw and a scratch blade, you know, a typical utility blade. You can cut it with a utility blade, but you also need to know, in order to do that, you want a piece of wood that goes down so you don't have to worry about cutting anything as you go through.
Yeah.
And then it will allow you to get better at building. And also, you want to leave a little gap in between each one because it will ebb and flow with humidity. If you don't, they'll push each other out of the way.
So here's what we're talking about here.
Here's our piles.
Here's our system
My
that we
little
came up
poly
with.
stack,
We got our little
which is really good for
stickies.
holding up a light too, by the way.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. And then, I don't know if you can see there, but there are little gaps in between each row over there.
They're really tiny, but it's supposed to do that so that way that when they swell, they don't push each other off the wall.
Yep. All right, let me jump over into some more comments here.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, one more thing. If you ever do order these things for your own space, you're gonna want to normally take them out of the box and let them sit in your room for like a week so that they can acclimatize, because wood. And we didn't really have the time to do that.
Yeah, see,
so we're probably going to be fixing pop-offs for a couple of days after, but we'll figure it out
figure it
when
out.
That's
when
all
it
right.
comes in.
Simply Odds, no, I'm sorry. The Paul Duncan says, no Ecamm staff was harmed in the building of this studio.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Hey,
Knock on any of the wood.
Knock on wood wall. Thank you, Paul
I almost
Duncan.
fell out of a window on the inside.
Yeah, we saved Jill. We saved Jill's
Yeah,
life.
saved my life. I appreciate it. All right, let me go back to another question here. Rob Value says, I want to see
Balls.
Doc paint, but that might take as much time as it would for the paint to
We did
dry.
a time
I did a
lapse.
time
You
lapse,
did.
and I did a lot of painting, Mr. Vols, school board.
He did.
Yes, so
He did all the high up painting, and I did all the low down on the ground painting. It was a teamwork situation.
teamwork make the dream work. And the fun part, Rob, was me trying to climb over this pipe
right, let
over
me get
here
up
to
over
paint.
Some classy moments that will
Yeah.
appear in the time lapse. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
so up there. Here, point up there again.
Yeah,
This
all the
guy
way up
here.
there. Like, you'll see parts of me almost falling off the ladder a few times, Rob, so thanks for that.
Yeah, just a lot of people are chiming in, saying that they're enjoying it. Here's a question. How much work I should have read it all the way first.
It's all right. It's okay.
You can handle it, right?
We can handle it.
Okay. How much work does Doc really do? Katie, can you speak to this?
All right, which one of my Jack Weevils said that?
The Politic show.
Oh, Alex.
Oh.
All right, Alex.
That's fair.
Leave me alone, Alex. Take it.
Doc has been, poor Doc. I mean,
I've been impressed.
He flew overnight, jet lagged, showed up, and has been working non-stop. Like the guys keep saying like, when are we gonna go for dinner together and like walk around Amesbury? And
Kenny's
I'm
like,
like,
no.
no, we are building a studio here.
I was telling Karen that yesterday. I was super funny, right? So I was like, Ken comes in the office. She goes, oh yeah, that's one of the bosses, right? I go, yeah, it's a twin brother, right? And it's like, yeah, Ken's like, oh yeah, I'm in the history, and it's cool that you're in the history. Let's go around and see all this cool stuff, and I'll show you all these buildings and give you the history. And Katie looked at him with this look that only moms can give, and is like, no, Doc's not going anywhere. We're gonna sit here, we're gonna do this
We're
until
gonna build
after
this
Lease.
studio.
And then Ken was like, like the Homer Simpson meme, right? And then I was just laughing. I was like, yo, I'm telling you, man, I think the twins are scared of Katie. Don't tell anybody I said that.
Tom Buck has a painting pro tip. Frog tape beats the
Oh.
bejesus out of
Yeah.
blue tape.
I say that too. I use frog tape personally. when we were at the store, I didn't see till after we had already grabbed everything that they actually had a pile of frog tape. But for people that are on the thing, if you are going to get it, frog tape is way better than
good
3M.
Carlos agrees. Carlos
It's good.
is +1 for frog tape.
The other good thing about frog tape, if you're doing anything green screen related and you need to cover just like door handles in that, frog tape is almost the right color. And I use it to block out like light switches and things if you're doing something with green screen. So frog tape does key.
Ooh, okay, minute 24 at 56 seconds. That's a great little tip.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Someone write it down for us so we can come back to it.
Rob is the timekeeper, Mr. Vols, aka India says values.
Brings the value. Bring in the value.
Elaine says, I've always wondered how to spell bejesus. Is it bejeebus or bejeebus?
Bejesus?
Bejesus.
It's bejeebus?
Oh, I don't know.
Hashtag English major too.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm Japanese major, so we don't use words like bejesus. We go,
Bejesus.
on it? Yo, boy.
So do you guys want to talk about what we're going to be building next? Talk about maybe this wall, maybe some of the furniture, decor. And if you guys are watching, let us know, what's your preference on what type of stuff do you like to have on your bookshelves?
What bookshelves is a dope? Okay,
so we're doing
building
bookshelves.
bookshelves.
Yeah, we're building bookshelves.
We're building
Give it away.
bookshelves. But I will say that is where your character comes from in your studio.
Yeah.
So first of all, everybody stop lying. We know you have an entire closet full of shelf help that you bought that you were going to read and then become, one with the plants or something. And you got lots of books. So bookshelves are dope because you can put back there. But I do feel a lot of people do bookshelves for the simple reason of like trying to show that they're well read and intelligent. If that's not your swag, use it as a place to put knickknacks and curios similar to
we're
this.
gonna put this is not our finished bookshelf. This is likely gonna go back into the other space, but the bookshelves we got have little nooks for all of these things.
Oh, so that's cool. So you ordered them with already character nooks.
Yeah, it's a very kind of modern, fun vibe to them.
That's dope.
And we're gonna put all of our fun stuff. So we do need to. Doc did an awesome sign for us. It's in the other office. We need to bring that back over. We have all
I think
of our
bookshelves is good too for the simple reason that me, as a camera liner upper person, June and I were having fits when India was building her studio because she's working catty corner in an angle of a slanted basement. So she's hanging up these fantastic pictures from Iconic, which is a dope picture store if you really like cool pop culture, motivation type pictures. They're not cheap, but they're well worth it. Honestly, they have some fantastic stuff. And as she's hanging the pictures, like, we're looking at the camera angle is off because I know she went anal to make sure that the pictures are perfect, and they are. But then when your camera angle is off, it shows your camera angle is off. So what's dope about bookshelves is you can use the leading lines in bookshelves as a way to angle your cameras.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just thought it was also a fun way to be able to. And Felicia, you've done an amazing job of this if you're watching. But the pops of light. So I went on Etsy and we only have one here in the background, but a bunch of these kind of like fun Edison bulb lights that we can position in different shelves around that are going to add that pop of warmth. So we will be well lit and everything will look great, but then it'll bring that warmth in, maybe a couple of candles even, but being able to add some of those that add texture and light to it are gonna go a long way.
Just to give us a little close up,
I can probably,
I want to pull the acronym off the wall.
Yeah, I don't want to pull it off the wall. Yeah, and these things,
It's Mr. Wiggly.
I was gonna say this is
Piggly Wiggly.
This is mostly Ken going to his favorite Home Goods and finding all kinds of. Ken is Home Goods happy all the time.
Sylvia, we need Ecamm Demitas over there.
We do.
So we
she's
can
got
act
them
bougie.
She's got them on order. These were pre-Sylvia. That's why they don't look as good. You'll see there's we need to fix the.
I can just see everybody's stream is super caffeinated now. I just got my new Ecamm Demitas and let's get ready to stream. It's just gonna be wild.
All right. But yeah, lots of it'll be fun things. To be able to kind of add the personality and the character.
So I look at someone okay, Jared is a real cinematographer. So what we do is we put our lenses and stuff back there.
Yeah.
Tom puts all of his 50-1100 microphones back there.
Yep.
You know,
Someone like Pat Flynn has all of
Pat
their
has lots of books and
Back to the
curios,
Future
knick-knack,
stuff.
Back to the
His
Future.
personality gives you a chance for personality.
I was going to say small pod, switch pod themes.
Not small box.
All, you know, all of the various stuff like that. So yeah, you can put things that like sort of bring your character into play, right? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we've got some cool feedback from everyone.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
Let's see. Mr. Camera Junkie is saying, I have a camera shelf.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, good camera.
Yeah.
I actually have like a couple of like older like antique cameras that would be fun to bring in.
That's cool.
That, you know, yeah, having a cool look to it would be neat.
And Al Jennings says, I have Neo and Morpheus on my shelf.
Oh,
Yes.
I love it.
You guys excited for the next?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Actually, the thing I'm most excited for is Star Wars Vision, which will be anime versions of Star Wars
That's gonna be
done by
great,
the top manga creators in the world. It's going to be insane.
That's gonna be good.
Paul says, if I had bookshelves, my cat would be on them.
Yeah, so they're
Is that
definitely
tricky?
Put a cat tower.
there are definitely
And just leave the cat in it.
The cat can be just part of
Cat
the fun.
cam.
Yeah, just put a cat tower and let the cat do his thing in the background while you're doing the stuff.
Joel's asking, what was the name of the art print store? Did we say?
Iconic. Is that
Iconic.
Joel Foner?
Iconic.
Okay, Katie will let me off the hook on Saturday, Joel. So if you want to come down and have a whiskey, let me know. Right?
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, Todd Dixon, she's saying she's loving the glow of that light on the floor. So we were playing with this.
Yeah, right?
Do you want to talk about the difference, even though this paint is not dry all the way,
Yeah.
but the difference between that darker blue gray that we had and now what the light's doing with this other gray?
This is Westchester gray, Sherwin-Williams Westchester gray. Doc and I were so delirious when we went to the hardware store that we were calling it Winchester gray, and the guy was like, "No, it's not here," and we were like, "No, it is. We looked it up. It's." And then we realized that we completely had that wrong. So not Winchester the gun gray, Westchester gray, and we do have that in the in our Ecamm Live Gear Guide, which I linked to in the description. So if you wanna grab that color. But yeah, it's not quite dry yet. It's gonna dry a little bit lighter than what you're seeing here, but it does let you pick up the color, which is super fun and gives us that flexibility. So again, like if we don't want the colored lights, no problem. It looks great and it's a nice kind of just neutral background. But if we do want to do like a fun, like, you know,
We can switch it to Let's Get Live.
yeah, we can switch it to Let's Get Live.
We
switch
can
it to
go
purple.
to like Ian Anderson gray,
Yeah,
red.
confident live marketing. We can
Right.
make that live marketing.
Let's go to some building blocks action over here.
Building blocks.
Now we got building blocks and Pastor Felicia.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
we can go full disco mode. We can get a little Michelle Lawrence and go green.
yeah.
Oh my God, I accidentally had green screen on for a second. That turned to brick.
Look how good it works. That's awesome.
Jill, what are you doing over there? So yeah, this was really cool. And the thing that makes a difference is that certain colors, I like just holding the lightsaber, you know,
That way.
because it's cool. Certain colors will reflect whatever lights you have. Even in a flat paint, right? So we went for under eggshell, pure flat paint. And you want flat. You don't want any gloss whatsoever. And normally that's counterproductive when people tell you about your rooms. But in this case, you want
Fight
that
back. You want flat.
because it will take the color and spread it as opposed to bounce it back.
Bouncing it back, yeah.
Right? So just like in lights, there's something called CRI for how the light works. There's something called TRV, total reflective value. This paint has a TRV of 19, and which is really low, right? When you have a TRV like over 40, it's going to just kick it back. So the old color, while similar, it just made a little light halo and it just ate all the light. Whereas this one, it basically spreads it
That's
out
so fun.
and it absorbs it.
And once we get all the rest of our blinds, Jill's been helping us hang up our blinds.
Yeah.
Once we have the rest of those up, we'll be able to control the natural light in here a little bit
This actually
better.
would pop a lot more if we're able
Yeah.
to shut.
We're over
Oh,
here.
we need tally lights. See, if we were able to shut the natural, this would pop so much even more. So thank you for noticing. And this came from Thomasina Kennesaw Buckminster the First.
Shout out to
She's
Tom.
asking for the specific details, so if she wants to go out and buy that right now.
So this is in that kit. So there's a link in the description, a kit.co link, and this exact one is there, as well as that paint color. So if you need more information, I know someone, not gonna remember who, someone asked yesterday in the comments for like the exact numbers of it. I have a photo of the can of paint, so I'm happy. And Doc also had another photo back in his studio.
I have a long conversation about it in
We
the
will
Ecamm community.
Yeah.
But I can send you the variants. If you really get stuck, you don't
email
have
us,
Sherwin-Williams,
yeah.
let me know because I have the numbers for Bear and some other kinfolk. Actually, we couldn't get Sherwin-Williams
Yeah,
here.
what did we use here?
We got,
It was,
it might have been Bear. I don't know. I forget.
it's sitting over there. Anyway, it's fine.
I'm high from
We'll
smelling
do
the
me a
we'll
favor.
email you.
Will you switch that to red real quick?
Evie said that?
No, I'm saying it. Ooh. All right, now show that up on the wall. Let me switch over the cameras. Because Junaid showed up, and I love his strong red background.
Oh yeah.
It's not, it's in real life, if we changed our camera settings a little bit, you'd see just how saturated.
Oh, it's really saturated.
red
Again,
is,
we're just getting eat by the
Yeah.
natural over here.
Yeah.
Once that natural is gone, you'll see it. I mean, people that see my studio, you'll see it because this is basically where I got this from. And it is crazy.
Yeah, it's
it is
pretty
so
crazy.
dope how it works. And you can basically make it anything you want. So that's what's really unique about it. Once you know what it is, you can write down your numbers and then you're able to just change it on the fly.
Keely is joining us. Hey, great to see you.
Oh,
She
right when
says-
we switch it to red, Keely shows up. I see.
She's here.
So Keely's saying, I think when we were talking about flat versus glossy,
Yeah.
she says that explains my weak attempts with RGB lights haven't worked on my grayish non-flat paint.
Grayish, yeah, that could be it.
Grayish is a problem.
Grayish non-flat is a problem. The other thing too, actually, I should say we don't have it yet. But the other thing we want to bring into the space it's funny that now that I'm seeing this current setup where we sort of have these like adjustable desks that we borrowed.
Oh, jeez Louise.
That we borrowed from Code and Circuit down the hall, but I might say if we just hang on to them. But we wanted to bring in a round table as well because Jill had sent over an example of a round table in a live video, and I think that given that we have Ken and Glenn here doing live Q&As, having that like round table feeling will be a lot nicer than them just sort of like sitting behind a desk next to each other, which is fine, but doesn't kind of have the same fun, kind of friendlier vibe to it. And so that in many ways is why we thought about having those Shure MV7 microphones on kind of the smaller tripods in front of them to have that kind of fun roundtable talk feeling.
So I'm going to jump in here for a second. So right now, because we're all here, if somebody else could drop the link in here over on YouTube, that'd be great. If not, a few people were asking specifically this link that you're talking about. It should be in the description of this video, right?
Oh, the link for the gear guide,
Yep.
the kit.co, is in the description
Perfect.
of this video. Yeah.
Perfect. And then
it might not be on Facebook. Sorry, Facebook friends. I will make sure.
We will
make
back.
sure that we circle back if you're on Facebook. It is in the description on YouTube.
we've got a question about our current setup right now being in the corner.
Yeah.
Todd's saying, can you discuss why setting up in a corner is helpful? I think for us, we were just wanting to show a few different things.
Oh yeah, we're not. So the thought and plan behind this is that it just gives us a bit of flexibility. We don't actually plan to do very many streams like into a corner like this. We actually are probably going to just do them in front of this wall that will have bookcases. But because we're building this wood wall, we have this. It's probably a little difficult to show. We have this giant television. So if you've been playing along with us the last couple of days, we have this giant TV, and we were trying to think.
It's over there.
We were trying to think through the best way to take advantage of this. So we got a Heckler Stand. Again, this link is in the gear guide. And what that's going to let us do is have the flexibility to move that around. So if we put a camera on top of it, we could technically stand. Like I could stand. I guess you can't really see me, but I could stand in front of this wood wall. And I could have the TV facing me with the camera on it, and that actually could even be a great teleprompter for me. I could have all my notes on it. I could have the flexibility to move around.
Especially at
so
a 187-inch TV.
Yeah,
It is freaking huge.
the world's biggest TV. So or it could just be a display for me. But so then I have the flexibility of the wood wall background on this side versus the like gray wall background behind me on this side. So that lets us have kind of the, you know, a round table we can move in. We could have just a desk in front of us. We could be standing, we could be sitting. It gives us a lot of space to test and play around with different backgrounds.
Yeah, reality, I think it's an 85-inch Samsung. It's ridiculously huge. But the other thing that's cool about that, depending on what you're doing, you could actually put your guest on there. So you had a panel of 4 guests. You could put all 4 guests on that and you stand next to them and have a conversation with the audience. And then there's you and then the 4 guests are on the TV. And that also works because, hey, Ecamm.
Yeah, and we also have, you know, again, this is a test studio, so for us, it's being able to really show you all everything that Ecamm can do and what all the different gear can do and answer questions that come up along the way. Yeah. But we do also, we have, as we said, we have the Ottoman Empire and a sofa, so we have the ability to move those even, you know, in this space in front of bookcases and have a, you know, have a different kind of conversation.
with Ken and Glenn, we can put them both on the sofa, pop up the big light, throw the camera on, and do the traditional trick where there's one camera looking at K, one camera looking at G, and one camera looking at KG, and then you can just switch back and forth. That's the traditional, like I call the ESPN interview shot. Yeah. And so we'd be able to easily set that up, and you know, it's flexible. A quaint surprise to me, as even an employee coming in to help build this, is to see that when you guys start buying a piece of gear that starts to become common in the community, you might not know this because they don't say it because they're too nice. The boys done bought it and started like hammering away trying to make sure that it's working.
Yeah.
I like rolling to the studio and there's like an Apollo on the desk. Not a musician to be found, but there's an Apollo on the desk that they've been doing because a lot of people were buying them and didn't know how to do it. So they wanted to make sure that the Apollo, which is an amazing piece of kit, works really well. So it's nice to have a laboratory. And one of the things that was my goal when I came in, I told Katie I want to build an Ecamm lab so that we can start to certify certain gear, because sometimes helpful but overzealous members will tell people to buy things that we haven't necessarily vetted, and then somebody else gets it and it doesn't work out and they're kind of mad at us. And we just want to be able to say that I've tested all this stuff from Shure, it works. I have tested all this stuff from Elgato, it works. Although I don't like them, we know the A10 Mini works, right? We're able to say that these things work so that at least if you're following the stuff that we've tested, we feel confident that we can make sure you have a more successful stream.
And I mean, honestly, then if something goes wrong, so like
if you
have you know the Shure SM7B and it is not working and there is something weird happening and you've reached out to our tech support team, you know, then it's easy for us to say like, all right, like we're gonna try to figure out how to replicate it on our end. We have it here.
We have everything we need to build your studio real quick and test it out and see where you may be having hiccups, right? Yeah. So that's cool, you know. I think that is extremely helpful, and I like having a little laboratory style setup here. You know.
All right.
All right, Jill's raising her hand.
I know. I'm raising my hand. Over here.
Hi, Miss Jill.
All right, we got a question from Evan3. Listen, you can go when I'm done.
We're not done yet.
It's not the right time to ask.
Hey, Melvin.
All right, so Melvin's asking, what are your camera settings to keep the light from flickering, or is it the kind of light? And wait, before you answer.
Ooh, Mel, you set that one up. Hold on, let me Big Poppy this real quick.
So Keely instantly comments, it's the light non-video light that will cut it, and wait for Doc to drop the bombs in 3, 2, 1.
Keely, I love you. Okay, I was gonna Big Poppy that one, but I'll be nice. Yes, Melvin, the key element here, and Tom and I both say this all the time. I want to give a lot of credit to Tom because he preaches this as much as I do. As soon as you can, eliminate non-video lights from your set. Like, I know you bought all the hues because I did. I told them folks yesterday I have over 64 hue bulbs in my house. Like, I have all of them.
But if you're looking for them, they're at Doc's
They definitely at some point in time will start the flickering, doing other kind of weird stuff. It's so easy to go to the IKEA or the Pier 1, and trust me, if you look around here, Ken has been to Pier 1 more than once.
We have this guy up here, the Phillips.
So it's easy to want to buy that stuff, but that's not made for video and film for the reason that you just stated, because of sync, right? So getting true video lights, which is why we went nan light all the way across the board.
Yeah, these are great. I've learned a
Nan
ton
lights
about
are
them.
dope.
They're awesome.
They're just dope. Aperture lights are good, but they're expensive and hard to get right now. And I don't mean expensive as in not worth it. They're completely worth every dime. But people have to be willing to understand that when you're going to go and buy a pro grade movie film light, it's not going to be cheap, but it will last forever. So it's worth it. I do think that it's cool that because of the amount of people doing this stuff, the Godoxes and the Newers of the world have been able to step into the party and create decent stuff at a fair price. And so Nanlite basically is giving you aperture quality at Godox and Newer price, which put them like perfect. They're like, I see what's happening over here and I see what's happening over here. How do we make it work? So they went and took out a bunch of the unnecessary stuff that are creature comforts, and they developed a fantastic product. So Tom and I are both Nanlite fanatics, and yeah, they're just gangster. I got a couple people that want to send back their Godox UL60s and replace them with Nanlite 60Bs because it's very easy to get suckered by the $50 price difference, but it's just worth it. They added a couple little creature comforts, although I think the science of the light is the same.
Yeah, you don't know until you know, so it takes time.
It's good stuff.
More hand raising? Are we good? Yes, Jill? Looking at you.
Oh, hey guys. All right, Gloria's saying looking good. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Gloria. Rich is laughing at the Pier 1 reference.
Hey. Let's not be mean about
Dude,
Pier
they used
1.
to be right down the street from my house. So I went way too much. I had all the candles at one point. People thought I was doing seances in my house.
All right, I got a comment that might be something that I can address.
Ooh,
Yay.
all right.
Go, Jill.
Jill's going to answer this one.
All right, so Rich Graham is saying, disappointed in the lack of Boston accents on these streams. Also, how
I'm
far
not from, neither Doc or I are from, so I'm not from Boston.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm the only one that can like represent.
All right, let's hear
But I don't
this,
have
Jill.
much of an accent because my parents are from Maine. So,
there you go.
But like, you know what? It's wicked freaking hot outside today, and I got to get my dunks and my iced coffee, and like, it's ridiculous. I packed my cat. Okay, that's as much as I got. But
The
I don't
one
really
that I
talk
got
about
yesterday from my friend John LeBlanc, who is Ecamm fan, but he's also my neighbor and he's from here. I call him my resident masshole.
Yeah. There's always
We
one.
get that.
But
/ all of us.
he told me to go to the Packy and get some
Yes.
beers.
Tacky.
I found that so people listening who are now horrified at hearing that word out loud. I'm an obsessive true crime podcast fan, and I listen to one that Doc actually recommended.
Morbid.
Yeah, Morbid. Love Morbid podcast, right? But these women are from Boston and have thick Boston
They're from
accents.
Boston proper.
They're from
From
they are.
Worcester.
Yeah.
Worcester. If you say Worcester.
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 And Haverhill,
So-
which is Haverhill.
Yeah.
But it's Haverhill.
Haverhill. Yeah.
See? Damn
So
this
shout
place.
out to the amazing ladies behind Morbid, but it was an amazing feeling for me because when I first moved out here, I went to a conference and we were like unpacking everything, getting all ready to get to the conference, not Ecamm related. And a bunch of the women that were standing near the door were like, "We're just gonna head over to the Packy to get some alcohol." And I was like, "What?" And all I could think of was like, "Are these people like referring to like a person from Pakistan that runs that?" Like, I was so horrified and offended, and no one in this area thinks that it's a big deal. So I just sort of like let it go and was like, all right, I understand that's what people call it. Years later, I'm listening to Morbid, and they were talking about this like horrific case, like in Scotland, like people were dying. It's a true crime podcast. People are dying, and they said to try to explain what this case took place in Scotland, and they're like, he had left, the bodies in the car, and then he ran into the Packy to get some beer or whatever. And I guess they got like destroyed online because all of their listeners were like,
They don't know.
"What?"
Even in Ohio, they call it the package store. Ohio calls it the package store
It's
as
called a
well.
package store, but
Yeah.
everyone here
Package.
calls them a
Yeah.
Packy for short, which
Like in
is-
Virginia, they call it the ABC store.
Yeah.
Which is
So
like
much better.
alcohol, beverage, and something. But yeah, There's state-run liquor stores in a couple states. They're not like individuals, so they have to be run by like state or licensed properly by the state.
Yeah.
And so they're normally called package stores. It's a really, really old, leftover, like, you know, New England.
But yeah,
takeoff.
join me in being the token Canadian who is just like,
Terrible.
what? Like,
Yeah.
racism!
No,
Please
it was
stop.
super funny.
I was
like,
so
go to the
offended.
packy and get some beers and get hammered.
Hammered,
hammered.
yeah, get
And I
hammered.
was like, what?
Yeah.
And don't talk about Neymar. He's over Neymar.
Yeah.
All right, back to
Sorry, we got
the
off track,
rebuild.
but
No,
thank
no,
you for
no,
letting
no.
me-
We
Back
have
to-
to.
back
he
to
needed
reality.
his Boston accent fixed, and that's
Thanks,
how we
Rich.
got
Thank you
here,
for-
if
thank
you're
you for
just
that
joining
detour,
in.
yeah.
Heather Ramirez is here. What's up, Heather? So good to see you. All right, we got a question here from Kim Bucha.
Hey, Kim
What's up, Kim?
Can we talk about surge protectors and safe ways
Oh,
to power all this stuff?
That's something that I did
Is there a
not buy
recommendation
yet.
for brand or type?
Yes, good. That's on my list of things that I didn't think about in ordering. And Doc, this is a Doc's fault.
No, it's funny.
Doc didn't tell me to buy those, so I
Don't tell anybody, but I accidentally scolded Glenn about it yesterday because there's not a one in here.
There's not one.
But to be fair to the guys, they are diehard laptop kin folks.
We are, yeah.
So as a laptop person, you are better because your battery brick will handle some of it.
Yeah.
But if you remember back in the day, a lot of Apple and Dell both caught a lot of flack because their battery bricks would catch fire or heat up and burn stuff. The brick doesn't know how to do that. That's your neighborhood electricity. That's your municipality. So when your municipality is giving you a brownout, your brick turns your power up in order to keep it even. And then so they become overheating because they're plastic, and then they melt, and then they cause a conflagration. So that being said, if you put on a battery protector, the little $100 battery protector will take an ass beating, but it knows how to switch on and off as the power drops. It will make everything on this side safe because it's literally a bouncer. It's taking all of the fights outside before they come inside. So yes, I say Cyber Power is good. APC is the best. Trip Light sits in the middle. Everything else I don't pay attention to.
We will add all of these. So these are not, none of that is in our kit.co gear guide link, but we will add all that in. So the goal at the end of this journey, where we will probably not be done everything, we'll do video calls with Doc on the fly, but we will add everything that we're missing. So because there are definitely things we're
and
missing.
don't get it twisted. It's not your surge strips, right? Most surge strips are glorified electric extension cords. These actually have batteries in them designed to take some of this beating. You need one in the front. You can put your surge strips after, whatever. The surge strip that we like is over here on the floor. It's a little circular thing from Kensington that they don't make anymore.
Yeah, we tried to get another one, and we borrowed that from Code and Circuit, so we have to give
Yeah,
that one back.
we gotta give that back. But it's good
It's like a
because
little
it allows for the
octopusy kinda,
bricks
yeah.
to stick out. If you notice the brick that I have on there, the two bricks I
Yeah.
have on there, they don't get in the way of each other, and they allow the bricks to stick out. Kind of
it's
hard to
rainbow,
hide,
that's
so
kinda fun.
that's what you need. You need a fern or a ficus to help hide that
Yeah.
in the back somewhere.
Big believers in lots of ferns. That'll be
Fern and
phase
ficus.
2. Ferns and ficus.
That's gonna be a whole
Ferns
new
and
podcast.
ficus phase 2.
Fern and Ficus podcast. But yes, good question, Booch.
Yeah, really good
It's very, very important to get your surge protector and your battery backup game on. It will just save you in the long run lots
Yeah,
of
that
hassle.
would be a terrible
Do
feeling.
you have any experience with things going wrong in that regard?
You mean like people not having them?
Yeah, our
Oh.
church had a while ago. Our church had was struck by lightning,
Oh man.
and it destroyed the board. I mean, luckily insurance did come through, but there was lots of things that were plugged straight in instead of going through even a power strip.
It would help because the power surge thing would have took it all, and they have capacitors in there. They would have just blown up. Everything else would have been fine. And most of these guys. This is why I like to get APC, Trip Light, Cyber Power, some of the higher end brands. They'll come with like $30,000, $10,000, depending on how many volt amps they have. They come with warranties built in. So yeah, it's very important you get that. Now that everybody's building studios too, make a real proper inventory and make sure that
That's a really
your
good
all-state
thought,
rep is in the queue. Like my all-state rep knows everything that I have, because if anything happens, hey, I'm like, listen, Deanne, I don't care about the car. I don't care about nothing. My studio got to get fixed. And then she like, check within, 36 hours. I'm like, are you
That's
sure?
a really good point.
She goes, yeah, I say
that is-
36 hours, but I normally can get you a check in like 8 hours. I'm like, make it 6 and it's a deal, because I'm not playing. And then, so my Allstate rep, we already had this conversation. So talk to your Allstate rep and tell them, because all you guys don't know, you're buying all of this kit. And then if something happens like last week in New York, like Linwell is right now not at the stream because he's cleaning his basement.
Wow.
Right?
Sending-
So
we're
you
sending
imagine,
hugs.
you know what I'm saying? Luckily his studio's upstairs, but imagine his studio was in the basement. Bro, it would have been all over.
I wouldn't think of that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I'm gonna make that call today.
yeah. It's also a really good idea, which I did not think of, but in general to have an inventory, because what's also gonna happen is that as you start getting better, so if you're on the newer side and you're just working on getting a lot of this equipment as you're getting started, you're going to see what's going to work and not work for you, what you might be missing, and what you might need to upgrade at some point as you want to change your your production or what you're doing. So having kind of that inventory to reference as great deals come up or you hear something else and jot notes into, like having that document that lets you do
Having
that
your
planning.
wish list together.
Yeah,
like you're
having
saying.
a wish
Having a
list,
wish.
yeah.
So when one of us says something,
Black Friday is coming.
oh, holla back, right? You know what happens? Black Friday comes and people goes, oh, I was thinking about getting these lights. I don't remember what they are. I was thinking about getting this tripod. I don't remember what they are.
Yeah.
So build your wish list. Now here's the other part. This is going to sound a little crazy. I've had people in my community build their wish list to the point where they printed out the stuff that they wanted and they stare at it every day. So they're always working to get towards that goal.
Yeah.
And then somebody else in the community would be like, I think so-and-so needs a stream deck. And then the stream deck shows up at their house because somebody else
Because
in the
we're in
community,
an amazing community.
somebody else in the
everyone.
community thought like, okay, they're at the point they need it. They keep talking about it. I know they can't get it right now because they're focused on other things. So I'm just going to go gift them a stream deck. You know what I mean?
feel like Alicia's talked about things.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. So when you set the intention and you say what you want and you're focused on it or whatever, you never know. So like, it's good to have it in your vision because you're also working towards it. Even if you don't get the, the random gift knock at the door, you still are working towards it and you know what you're doing, right? There's one thing to say I want to lose weight. It's another thing to say I want to lose 10 pounds.
Yep.
The person who said 10 pounds will probably nail it 80% more than the person who just put the random lose weight on it, because targets, if you don't measure it, you don't know what it is.
So Tom's saying I've had a running wish list at B&H for like 7 years.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
And Tom's the real deal.
Yeah. I'm a big believer. I mean, I feel like I have wish lists for like a multitude of things. Like it's just a place to be able to get your minds to, like it keeps everything in one spot for you to be able to think about it. Like
When I discovered
personally
that
and professionally
skateboarding,
everywhere.
when I discovered that skateboarding was sort of invented in Hawaii, I was heavy in my skateboard thing.
Yeah.
So I just put like Hawaii posters up all over my room.
Right, yeah.
And I said, one of these days I'm gonna go there. And then I graduated high school. I shook off the hangover and I went. I never left. So talk about like craziness. If you set the intention right, like you never, and I didn't read nothing about intentions back then. It was just, I had never read The Secret because it wasn't written yet. We read our books on gigantic stone tablets and we shaved by
Dinosaurs
catching a
going
bumblebee
by.
and an oyster, So yeah, I was like, sorry, Fred and Barney, I'm out. I'm going to Hawaii. So yeah, set the intention and you never know what happens.
Yep.
Todd Dixon's saying, great point to make sure your insurance is updated
Yeah,
with your
that was really
inventory.
genius.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of people were like, I'm doing that right now.
Good,
Simply
yeah.
Ops is like, I'm going to do it right now.
See you later, everyone. We're all gonna go talk to our insurance people.
Aubrey's going to drive her golf cart over to the Allstate. Hey, listen, lady.
I've been thinking. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about they've got their Stream Deck XL.
Oh yeah, we should. Yeah, we have.
It's over there.
We could have used it
we have-
today.
we
but
should have used it. We have
We're
our
so mobile. We're just kind of like.
It's in the
Going
pile
for
of things that we have.
Yeah, we actually, so we have the Stream Deck and then we have the Loop Deck. I know everyone's been talking about. Boop, boop, boop.
There we go.
Um,
Yeah, right here. Here, there it is.
Katie from The Price is Right.
Katie from The Price is Right. But
Jim
yeah,
Martin, come on down.
for anyone that, so Stream Deck and Elgato are absolutely incredible. We've had an integration with the Stream Deck for a long while now, but I know lots of people have been asking about the Loop Deck. And so maybe sometime soon here in the next little bit, we might have some exciting news
That's a
about
nice
Loop
light.
Deck. So keep an eye out for that because I know that y'all love some knobs. And Loop Deck's got itself some knobs, so more
like
coming the next little bit
Me
here.
loves
but
Loop Deck. It's cool.
It's going to be an exciting few months here, and I can't wait for all of the fun between updates and integrations and Black Fridays and Leaping Alive.
In the words of Sean Carter, it's about to go down.
Go down, everyone. Awesome. Any questions? How are we doing?
Just a lot of people are jumping in saying the studio looks great.
Yeah, we're getting
a lot of
there.
progress.
Thank you.
I'm gonna flip the camera around here in a minute to show the rest of the space if people are just joining us. So, but then
You'll have to forgive us for stuff everywhere, stuff all over.
Oh, we're in build mode.
Green screens and coffee mugs everywhere.
Build mode.
All right, this is going to be an interesting shot, but so and it's focusing on this light. But here, tell us about this NAND light again.
That's a NAND light, Pavo 6C. That's the little baby guy. It's a 10-inch NAND light, and
Take it with you on the go.
It's great to go on the go. Pops of color, like all of the above, and it's basically just a baby version of this Big Daddy here on the ground. So, like, yeah, absolutely love that thing.
And then, I got cableage. So,
That too was
this is
also
the rest.
recommended by Tom.
So, and what are your thoughts on the rest of this space? We're going to be putting in these blackout curtains.
Yeah, we're putting in these blackout blinds,
Yep.
and then probably some curtains for some pops of color on either side of those. I think really the other side of this office space is really going to be more used for just work. So, desks, so we can have computers at and be able to kind of chat back and forth. We might keep that corner that we had been that this guy was in. I might keep that set up as just like an extra space for just one-off videos.
The Katie streams.
The Katie streams, or it's just me hanging out doing videos. I'll bring my bowling pin in. It'll be great. We'll have that in the corner.
We got a special request
What did it do?
from Scott.
Scott,
All right.
happy to
Scott's
help.
got a recommendation for Ecamm here.
All right, great.
Scott, don't send Doc home and keep doing these every day.
Hey, Scott. Dang it!
Hey,
I
Scott.
didn't bring any woolly jumpers or winter clothes.
Oh, woolly jumpers. I love
sorry,
it.
We got time.
That's a UK thing.
No, I love it.
The
It's
woolly
so,
jumper.
yeah, I love it.
But I gotta get the woolly jumper with the Boston accent.
Yeah, the woolly
jumper.
woolly
Woolly jumpas.
You get a woolly jumper.
Jumpas.
Yeah.
Simply Obs is saying, yes, the Katie stream.
The Katie stream.
We love the Katie stream.
I know what I'll do, Scott. I'm gonna go and order a Harvard sweater.
I'll
I'll get a nice Harvard sweater, or MIT.
Harvard jumper.
All right, we're coming up past an hour here.
All right.
wanna
Anything
thank
else?
everybody?
So this is our last
Oh,
one
man,
of the
I didn't
week.
hear the whistle.
It is. Oh yeah, we missed the whistle. What's going on? Uh-oh, are we on a weekend? Did we miss a day?
No, oh God knows. It could be Thursday.
be Thursday.
We have no idea.
It is not. It is Friday, which I'm sad to say means that this is the end of our Studio Build live streams. We'll probably be doing some pop-ups on the other side.
Well,
of
you'll get to
Leaping
see
Live.
a lot of it in play next week at Leap. If you're not at Leap, I'm fitting to come to your house and have a
We're sad
conversation
for
with
you.
you.
if you're not signed
Because
up.
we've been talking about this for 2 months now, and you should all be. I'm curious, is there anybody in the comments right now that is not going to Leap?
We
I
will
just
give
wanna
you
know.
a free ticket.
Thank
we will
you.
give
I'm
you
reading
a
the
free
comments.
all access
Let's see,
ticket.
right now.
I know
who's not-
Ivan's going to be there.
Yes, I saw Ivan's
Ivan's
name
in
on
the chat?
list. Yeah. Hey, Ivan.
What's up, bro?
Ivan just got here.
¿Qué
He's
pasó,
saying,
brother?
he does have a question. When will the build be completed?
It ain't never completed. No, that is.
Never.
I'm not even trying to be joking. That is seriously.
Yeah.
Anybody who's been watching my streams from like day one to now, you can go back and look at the old crappy stuff I did. It's never over. So don't get that in your head. Because as soon as you think you got it exactly how you want it, you'll have an idea,
Yeah, something will
new piece of
change.
kit will come out, or you want to level up to the next thing. So it's kind of sort of never over, and that's good to know that. Because if you think
Recovering perfectionists, listen to us.
no, yeah,
It
it's
is
good to know that
okay
it's
for-
never over and that you are allowed to change your mind.
Yeah.
And I wanted to actually remember to say this, and so thank you, Ivan, for this. People who are like, oh, I'm worried because I want to do all of the things, but I can't right now, whatever. I'll tell you about it the way I do computers. I get my computer. It never sits on my desk longer than 2 years. Never. Because I use high-end apps, okay? Everybody here uses Ecamm now. So everybody here uses a high-end app now. So at the end of 2 years, you immediately list that sucker on your Craigslist or your Facebook or your school bulletin board or whatever you got, the church social, whatever.
Church bazaar, all of the things.
You list it. My number, you got to do your own math. My number is $500 or $600 less than I paid for it. I have found that to be a sweet spot. I've never not been able to sell it in less than a day. And I immediately replace it with the brand new version of the same, because I never have an old computer. I never like, well, I'm trying to do this, but like I'm running a 2012 MacBook. It's 2022 in like a month and a half. Why do you still have a 2012 MacBook? If you're using this type of stuff, not just typing letters to your girlfriend,
yeah, if you're doing
you
a
should
very
sell
simple
that
thing,
sucker
right?
on the minute it becomes 2 years old and replace it. Now my stuff is to the level where it's getting super high end. I might sell them every year and replace them every year, right? Same with this kind of gear. Lighting, if you decide to change lighting, there's an entire community of e-cameras, 17,000 strong. Somebody needs to buy your old stuff so you can buy the new stuff.
We have a trading post.
We do have a trading post group, right? Don't think about it like, oh, well, I just bought this. I can't afford to buy something else. Yeah, you can, because you sell the other piece.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're normally only $50, $60 out to replace it with what the new thing is. So if you are a gear chaser, cool.
Chase
Learn
it.
to sell. Do not be a collector, Alicio. I'm talking to you. Don't be a collector. Like, sell it. You're helping out the next person, and it keeps you able to hang with Tom and I. Because that's what we're going to do.
So Keely says, oh, this is my favorite doc rant. How to privately lease Apple products.
Yes.
Call it back.
Yeah.
Nobody listens, but I lease my computers. Because as a business, you just send them back and you replace them. And you don't care, like a fully loaded iMac only costs like $100 a month, while people are out there crying about, I can't buy a $4,000 iMac. Yeah, don't lease it. Your restaurant leased all the ovens. They don't buy ovens. Ovens are $100 freaking grand. They lease them. Your favorite pizza joint leased that one though. That oven been here.
Not our favorite pizza joint.
That joint came from Italy. The Pope was like, Dominus, Dominus,
So good.
flat-breaded pizza is. Oh my God, that thing is blessed.
So Todd Middlebrooks is saying, this is such a great point. I've got old camera gear that is now too old to sell.
Man,
Yeah, I mean,
Tom will buy
People
it.
are saying we listen.
Tom will buy it. Call Tom. He is into buying vintage cameras right now.
Yeah,
I don't know
once
why.
it gets too old, then it's just vintage. So
Yeah.
you're sad. You know, it's a different
So, no,
vibe.
2 years and 20 years.
Yeah, it is a thing though. People, I have a camera right now that I think I held too long and I should have sold it, but I was so in love with it. I was like a family member. You know, all my equipment has names. And then so like, yeah, it's sitting on the shelf like I should have sold it a long time ago. Sorry, Virgil. Now you're just a dust collector.
Virgil. Oh, I love
All right,
it.
a couple more.
Sorry, I was
things,
having a
and
moment
then-
for Virgil.
And then we're gonna head
Little
out.
wrap. Yep.
We're gonna eat.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we gotta hop off, guys. No,
Bye.
we gotta-
See ya.
So Ivan's asking as a follow-up. So this initial phase, when do you think this initial phase in terms of
Oh yeah.
setting up?
So here's where we're at. So you know we were already bringing Duck in for Leap Into Live, and so this came about because it was easy, and he was gracious enough to come in early to help us get this space into a better place. Probably.
I thought it would be a sweetener deal to make sure that Ken and Glenn would let me come. And I didn't realize I didn't have to say this part. Had I known that, I would have shut my face. But anyway, it's fun. I like doing it. I get a kick out of it. You know, it is super fun. I think, yeah, you know, like, I would love to do this. Like, actually, Stephanie has actually lined me up somebody to go do their space in San Diego. It's kind of fun. It gives you an opportunity also to get ideas. So, like, guys, don't be afraid to like volunteer for your school or your church or whatever and help them set up a little spot. Because I don't think a lot of people realize that they should have a room. Schools are always struggling where to do these classes and stuff. Every school has an empty room somewhere doing nothing that could be converted into a little studio.
Yeah.
Some schools have AV
Dare sign that
studios.
Well, just if Caleb is on here, Stephanie's looking for you in Slack.
Oh, all right.
Just as a heads up.
Yeah, we got to wrap because
Uh-oh.
I think she's got a stream starting actually. So. we
Oh,
need to-
I see. Stephanie, I was just saying nice stuff about you.
No, it's good. We got to
She
wrap.
was, but I want to respect that. All right, so any other last things? Any last
No,
things you
just
wanna add?
thanks so much for hanging out with us for the last couple of days. We will pop up on the other side of Leap Into Live with updates, but next week we are fully Leap Into Live, so come hang out with us. We'll be giving
Yeah.
all kinds of updates and hanging out.
The one piece of advice I would give everybody is you got to stay liquid. You know, I don't want to steal Bruce Lee's line and say "be water, my friends," but my people know I say that line to them once a week, and they're probably sick of me. But you got to stay liquid. You got to be willing to know that it's mad flexible, and you can change and adjust and be cool with it. Like no one's going to care. Like you don't have to think, "Oh, they see me do this already. I don't want to change it." Change. Be willing to just make adjustments on the fly. So be water.
Thanks everyone for hanging out with us, and we will see you next week. LeapIntoLive.com. Grab your tickets and hang out with us.